Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is April 23rd, 2017. My name is Eric Peterson. Joining me today, Mr. Dan Curtis.
Hello.
You sound like Jess.
Oh.
Oh,
Poor Jess.
I miss Jess.
I miss Jess. Jess, come back.
You know who else I miss?
That big fat woman you slept with once?
That's not a thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely not a thing.
God, I miss Big Bertha.
Her name was Helga.
Who do you really miss, Eric?
Big fat woman I slept with once.
I thought so.
I miss Tom.
I miss Thomas. Where is he?
I don't know. That's the thing. I talked to him yesterday. He seemed alive.
He could have at least got Jeeves to stand in for him. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he seemed alive. I couldn't really tell if he seemed well, but he was at least responsive.
And I sent him a message about an hour ago saying, Tom, podcast. And he said, nothing.
Like he said nothing? Like just replied the word nothing? Or just
yes.
Nothing was replied?
Nothing was replied. So we'll just have to soldier on once again without Yomus, who is a brilliant buffer between me and Eric's stupidity, usually.
We need that buffer.
We do need that buffer.
Otherwise it's just too... It's too much.
I'm sorry, everyone. Don't listen. Just turn it off.
Things are about to get real dumb.
Yeah.
When's the last time he was even on?
Last year.
I think it was the February 27th Resident Evil show.
You're joking. You're joking. That's ages.
I know. Well, we have switched to every 2 weeks.
I know, it feels like ages.
I miss it.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
What are you saying? You don't like doing the show anymore?
That's
it.
correct.
It's over.
It's just going to be you.
Oh, God, you don't want that.
No, nobody does.
I don't think
May I remind you that I saved this show?
Without you...
Every week.
It would be just a husk of a show twitching in the corner.
That's exactly right. That is the perfect description for how this show would be. If I had not stepped in gallantly and saved the day like a heroic knight of stupidity.
Nah.
Don't shit on my thing.
I'm pissing on your parade.
You really are. And it does not smell nice.
How did that saying even come about?
Probably because there was a parade once and somebody went and pissed on it.
Like, how do you piss on the whole parade?
You have to save it up over a week and then put it in some kind of elaborate hose system, I would imagine.
Well, then that's not really pissing on the parade. That's spraying pee on the parade. And that saying doesn't carry nearly as much weight as piss on the parade. If you were to start talking about saving the show, and I'm going to go spray some urine on your parade, it doesn't sound as good as I'm going to whip it out and pee on your parade.
I imagine it's probably something like because a parade is something nice and fun, so how can you do something which is not nice and fun?
Maybe it's just a really disgusting variation of rain on your parade because nobody likes going to parades in the rain. And I can imagine nothing worse than a urine downpour.
Apart from that time in Australia where they had a tornado filled with spiders, which just looked terrifying.
I still think I would prefer that over a urine downpour.
I didn't tell the missus about that one before we went to Australia.
Oh, you didn't? You didn't inform her that you're going to a continent where there are more things that want to kill you than there are that don't.
It really is. It's like everything in the world that want to kill you just moved there.
I mean, even your house wants to kill you by just spontaneously starting on fire.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Sounds like a good place.
You just collapse.
Did I?
Yeah, it sounded like you collapsed.
Like this? That's me setting my coffee down.
A cup of coffee.
Well, yeah, it's huge.
Huge.
It takes 3 arms to set it down.
Where's the third?
Oh, yeah.
That's a horrible image.
The fact that you paused and just thought about it for a minute is enough for me.
like you kind of lasso it round the cup of coffee.
Well, there's the handle that it just kind of...
No, not having that.
Should I stop?
Yeah. No.
See, let's
talk about some video games.
This is where Tom is needed.
He is. See, just shut it down.
Tom.
Not that he's not fun.
It's been too busy. Like, this past 2 months has just been so busy. That's the only thing he and I were talking about yesterday was work. How busy it is.
Really? I don't know the feeling.
Oh, God. It's just been nonstop.
Stop working so much. Chill out, dude.
I can't.
You can't.
I can't. No.
You can't.
What do you want me to do? Just like, I'm not going to work.
Yeah?
I have a family.
Remember how much fun we used to have? And we both weren't really working much.
Yeah, but I also didn't have kids.
Wait, that's your own fault.
Well, sorry.
If you were still with Big Bertha, this might not have been a problem.
Ugh. True. I do miss those days.
I do as well. It was great fun.
Yeah.
Just hours of gaming, no job.
Except you were 8 hours ahead, and that always sucked.
Yes.
Because just as I was getting up, you're ready to stop playing games for the day. Because you'd already been playing 8 hours of games.
Correct.
And then your mom coming up going, Daniel!
Daniel phone!
Is that Eric?
Yeah.
Hi, Eric!
She always put on a stupid voice where she was talking to you. Like as if she was worried that you wouldn't be able to understand her. And it was really weird.
Is she full Geordie, though?
No. We're not classed as Geordies. We are Geordie-ish.
Ooh, but it still has Geordie in the title.
Not really.
Geordie-ish has the word Geordie in it.
Yes, I've just
Therefore,
invented that. It's not a
you
thing.
Are dumb.
You're dumb. You're running with something which doesn't exist.
Shut up, I'm trying to make it work.
All right. I do miss those days where we could just sit and play Call of Duty for hours.
But those were also associated with the Voldemort Tower days. And nobody likes to think about that. Except for Tom, who apparently found his original Voldemort Towers application.
Is that not pulling back the curtain too much? People know that you had to apply for Voldemort Towers.
It was... We'll stop there.
We will never reveal what it is.
And the people in the know, I don't think they're going to reveal it either.
They're still scarred for life, I think.
It's unfortunate. Dan, what have you been up to the past 2 weeks?
Not a whole lot, really.
Just
I bought
being
a TV
Geordie
yesterday.
I heard, and it's still small.
It's 43 inches. That is not small.
Barely half the size of mine.
Yes, but you're like ridiculous. You sit so far away because American houses are so big. You sit about 3 rooms away from your TV, so you need this.
Yeah.
Whereas I sit about a foot away from my TV, so this is perfectly acceptable.
It's still too small.
No, it isn't. I used to have a 32-inch TV. I've invested in a 43-inch 4K HDR TV, which is nice. And I was watching YouTube on my phone while it was in the background earlier, and it said, "Would you like to stream this to your TV?" And I was like, yes, I would. Isn't that fancy?
Please do.
And it was great. And I was like, that is so cool.
Does it just have like Miracast or something built into it?
Now, you did say to me yesterday, why, if you bought a 4K TV, but you don't have anything 4K? Now, this is a valid point, but I am future-proofing. Because at some point, I will probably pick up a PS4 Pro.
Or all of the next consoles.
Yeah.
Because
you got to factor in that they're going to be like that. And I've wanted a new TV for a while, and I didn't see the point of just getting a standard one when 4K is probably going to become the norm. And, it was an absolute bargain.
Huh.
So, man, it looks good.
Has Crystal found out yet?
Yes.
Ooh, how'd that go?
Could be worse. Could be better.
What gave it away?
The fact that I told her.
You didn't try to hide it at all, did you?
No, I just told her. Because it would be worse in the long run if she saw it and went, "What is that?"
For those of you who are not in a relationship, this is a teachable moment here. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
Yeah.
Because if you ask for permission, she has the opportunity to say no. And then if you do it anyway, you have defied her.
Well, this is what happened.
Just don't. Oh, you asked her for permission and she said no?
Yes.
And you did it anyway? Yes. Guys, don't take relationship advice from Dan.
I'm so bad.
That's so funny.
Well, what I asked for is I wanted a new TV for the living room because we've got an old crap one. And so instead, I bought it for my games room.
I wonder how long I seriously wonder how long you could have gotten away with her not knowing, because how often does she go into the game room?
Like, never. So probably quite a while until we move house, and she goes, "Is that a bigger TV?" Like, no.
No, it just grew.
It's just the light. Just the light playing tricks on your eyes. Don't be stupid.
I watered it.
No, but it's good. It took me a while to figure out because the standard PS4 does have HDR, and certain games have it, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. I went on Horizon and looked in the graphics settings, and it said HDR not available. You need an HDR compatible TV. And I looked at the box, and it said HDR Pro, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's HDR. Why is it not working? It turns out you have to dig right into the settings and go to your HDMI output, and then go to the general settings and switch on something called deep color, which then turns on HDR. And I had no idea of this.
Yeah, HDR is a different animal because not all HDR is the same.
At first I was like, what's different? And then it looked crisper and cleaner, and I was playing with the different levels and stuff.
Yeah, most of those TVs you have to have professionally calibrated to take full advantage of it. They come in and they put this little device on the front of the TV, and then it just processes through and gives them information through a computer and tells them exactly how this needs to be calibrated for the room and all of that.
So I just want to try a PS4 Pro with Horizon now, because I can't even imagine how good it looks.
Yeah, I haven't taken it over to my neighbor's house to try it yet.
I think you need to try that.
Yeah, but it's got such a long install time.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
I hear that with newer games where they take forever to install. Like Final Fantasy 15 took about like an hour.
Did it?
Yeah, can you not remember?
No, because I think I just put it in and walked away for a little bit.
Oh, I was all raring to go, and then I got smacked with the install screen. I was like,
which is
really?
Frustrating. Cause
it is, because you've got all this hype, and then you have to wait for the download of the update, and
which is why I've gotten in the habit of when I buy a new game, I'll just go home and immediately throw it in, even if I don't have time to play it.
I do that as well, yeah. I didn't used to when I had crap internet, but now I've got decent internet.
Yeah.
I actually do that. Because 9 times out of 10 you need that launch update to actually play the damn game.
Ugh. Day one patches are the worst.
Mm.
You know what else is the worst?
What?
How Nintendo has handled the NES Classic.
Was that a segue?
By golly, it was.
I thought I heard one. But you are indeed correct. It has been abysmal.
Discontinued, to be in fact.
Yeah, I actually posted something on Eurogamer's comments when I said it, and I did meanwhile, at Nintendo HQ, one guy goes, so, the Nintendo Classic sold well, didn't it? And one guy goes, yes, it's very high in demand. And then the other guy goes, discontinue it immediately. and then just had in stars, consumers are outside throwing money at Nintendo's windows, are ignored.
It's so frustrating because they said they will definitely ramp up production throughout the year and into the holiday season. We didn't even make it to
Nintendo does
summer.
this all the time, though, don't they? They have a track record of just not having stock when they release things.
Well, I think they do that on purpose. I think that they did the whole NES Classic to generate interest for the Switch.
You think? There's very different things.
Well, I know, but it got it got people talking about the name Nintendo again. Because for the past couple of years, let's face it, Nintendo's been a little
shite.
Yeah.
But you saw the news, right, that they're apparently going to launch the SNES Mini this year.
That still seems a little unconfirmed.
Eurogamer, though, has in the past had a Nintendo source who's been very reliable. So, I think they had all the details on the Switch's capabilities long before it was announced. They were the ones who revealed it had the detachable controllers, things like that. So, I wouldn't say... I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I would certainly think it's something they should do. And I think this time around they should strongly consider having an online connection where you can download more games.
I don't think they should have that. And I don't think they will, because that would completely detract from their model with what I presume they're going to do on the Switch with the Virtual Console.
They're never going to launch that.
Apparently, it's going to be revealed at some sort of upcoming event.
E3.
Maybe. Is that only a month away?
Is it July?
I thought it was in June. Yeah, it's June 13th.
Oh, excellent.
Boy, we're only a few weeks away.
Will we finally see more footage of Final Fantasy VII? Who knows?
That's really odd. It's over a weekend this time? June 13th through the 15th, so it's Friday through Monday. It's because they've opened
it up to the public for the first time ever.
Not for the first time ever.
Is it not?
No. When I was there, you could buy tickets to it. The public could. They're not cheap. That's really odd, because it's usually Tuesday through Thursday.
Maybe they think because the weekend they'll get more people in.
But I don't think Nintendo's going to have a conference. They haven't been doing the big conferences lately.
No, but they'll do the Treehouse thing that they always do, and the Nintendo Direct, which they always do. But I think this year, more than ever, needs to be the year that Nintendo knocks it out of the park. Because, I mean, Switch is decent, it's done alright, but it needs games.
Well, let's be realistic, though. There have been a number of games that have come out that have received critical acclaim. I mean, I think every week there's been at least one game that's gotten a 9+ review.
Yeah, but how many people want those games?
I mean, I only have 3 now. I have Breath of the Wild, Bomberman, and I'm going to become an orange.
I am Satsuma.
Yeah, my Japanese copy finally came in.
Yeah. Have you tried it yet?
I played about 10 minutes of it. I don't really have much of a frame of reference. I was hoping Tom would be here so we could chat about it. But
he's not.
But back to the NES Classic. What would you like to see on there?
Games.
Really? I thought it was just going to be manuals. I would like to see a controller,
which is longer than a meter.
digital manual reader. I would like to see a controller, which is longer than a digital manual reader. I would like to see a controller, which is longer than a digital manual reader.
I would like to see a controller, which is longer than a meter. ideally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lane, no, was Landstalker SNES? No, it was Genesis.
Genesis.
Wasn't it?
I think it obviously has to have some combination of the following. It has to have Link to the Past, Mario World, Mario RPG, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yeah.
Earthbound.
Yeah.
If they leave Earthbound off, people will riot.
Well, it's one of those series that's just been left to die. It has such a following.
True. Turtles in Time. F-Zero. I'd like to see Illusion of Gaia, to be honest.
I never played it.
Oh, Dan,
what about Demon's Crest?
How about Goof Troop?
Yeah, just Goof Troop 30 times.
I bet you they would honestly put Goof Troop on there.
Can't be that bad.
What else? I would like to see
Super Metroid.
Yes, Super Metroid, obviously. I would like to see Rock and Roll Racing on there, but that won't ever happen. Pilot Wings. I think you'll see that on there.
So many. Could be...
ActRaiser. They have to put ActRaiser on there.
Yeah. This is why I think they should perhaps consider opening it up. Because why can't it be connected to the Virtual Console? Either way, Nintendo gets the sale. You know?
Okay, so why would anybody purchase the Switch if they could just purchase the $60 SNES Classic and get access to the same Virtual Console as the Switch?
Because the Switch is meant to be for more modern games, more than those games. They're kind of just a bonus buy. Whereas with this, if you want to play retro gaming and experience that SNES experience that you used to have, then why wouldn't you buy it on there? I think they're two different things. I mean, sure, it would be good to play an old SNES game when you're out and about on the Switch, but if you want to do that, that's your decision. You can do it. And why can't Nintendo connect the two together so you can play on both?
Kind of like the PlayStation ecosystem.
Yeah, why not?
That makes sense. I like it.
Well, it makes sense, but Nintendo won't do it, so...
No. God, there's got to be Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. Did I say Turtles in Time?
You did, yes.
What
Evo,
about
the Search for Eden?
I would like that.
That's such a underrated game.
It's one of the most interesting games we've played.
It was.
I really enjoyed that one. Just for the sheer concept. It was quite ahead of its time.
I mean, it fell apart towards the end, but, you know.
It did. It started off strong. If they added more RPG elements to it, leveling up and more control over the evolution.
Yeah, I think something like that could do quite well now, you know. I mean,
like an updated version of it?
Yeah.
You know, it kind of reminds me of a game that just came out that I actually bought it last night. It's called Everything on PS4. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't heard this.
It's basically an interactive experience where you can be everything from a subatomic particle to a blade of grass to a cow to an entire continent or a solar system or a universe. And you just control it, and everything is sentient, and it's just kind of this experience. But it's so strangely done. They haven't animated any of the animals for walking, so instead they just roll end over end when they move. It's hilarious. So I had a herd of cows following me through the hills last night, just rolling end over end.
So what do you actually do?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Sounds like it was worth the money, Eric.
Hey, everyone that I've read a review from says it's just phenomenal.
Did you see this week Media Molecules released a new game called Little Nightmares, which I haven't even heard of. And it looks pretty good.
I did hear of it, yes.
Looks like a creepy Little Big Planet, basically.
They did Little Big Planet.
I know they did.
Huh. That does look really neat.
It does. It looks kind
great
of got a
scores,
Limbo
too.
Inside vibe.
Yeah, it got great reviews, too. So, when do you think they'll release the SNES Classic?
For this Christmas.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Do you think they will move on to further systems? Do you think we'll ever see an N64 Classic?
Oh, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be very
I think
cool.
I don't. At the same time, there is demand for these things, but why don't they ramp up their efforts on Virtual Console and have this huge library of past Nintendo games just there for people to buy?
Oh, they would make an absolute killing.
They would, but they don't do it.
Sony really, really did that well. That's the one thing that I can't fault them on. Their PS1 Classics selection is incredible. Any game from the PlayStation era you could ever have wanted is on there.
But for PS4 with the PS2 Classics, not so much.
No, but those are a little bit harder because they have to up-res them. They add trophies.
But why couldn't they just not bother with the trophies and then just port them across?
Well, so I was wondering about that. All PS2 games, I believe, were native 4x3. And I downloaded Red Faction the other day, and it's full widescreen. So I guess I never had a widescreen TV back then. I don't know if those PS2 games were native to be able to display in widescreen.
It seems like a strange thing to do if you're not going to release much, because they did obviously like Rogue Galaxy, things like that, Dark Cloud, and then
they chose some really odd games, like definitely not the top of the pile.
I think it probably comes down to a development standpoint, though, because surely the developer has to go back in and add trophies and stuff like that.
Okay, so I'm looking here at a list of PS2 games that were widescreen, and there were a large number of them, so I guess they didn't have to redo any of the resolutions on some of the ones that came out.
Because I'd be quite happy if it's trophy support and things like that, which is holding it up. I'd be quite happy for them to just strip that out and, just...
Yeah, but I really like playing the super up-resed games. They are so good.
Apart from Vice City with the trails on, which was horrible.
Yeah. Before the PS4 came out, I had a gaming PC that I was modding PS2 games on, and if you mess with the settings enough, you can get them to look incredible.
Yeah, like
to the point where
12 looks fantastic.
Yeah,
modded.
I did it specifically with Rogue Galaxy and did a side by side. I think I even sent that tweet out years ago, and loaded up Rogue Galaxy on the PS4, and it looks the same as what I was doing on the PC.
Oh, really? That's
so
quite good.
They're super high-resing these games. I really enjoy that, but I think I'm with you. I would rather them just say, hey, we're going to release these. I really wish that they would open up the PS1 catalog to just be playable on the PS4 as well.
Yeah, that would be good.
But to be honest, that's what I get 90% of my Vita usage for is PS1 classics.
I imagine that's a great thing for that.
Oh, yeah.
Final Fantasy XII's out soon, actually. PS4.
Oh, no. Is it?
13th of July.
Well, that'll be good towards the summer slump.
11th of July, sorry. Japan gets it 2 days later.
I'm really excited for that.
I just kind of played through most of it recently, though.
I haven't touched it in 5 years. I've never beaten it.
I think you'll really enjoy it if you get into it, man.
I've only played about 15 or 20 hours of it. But
There's
I loved
so much
the story.
Depth to it.
I mainly just want to get back into...
the part.
But for me, it's your traditional Final Fantasy. It is knights and kings and politics and warring factions. It's none of this super futuristic style story that we've started to drift towards since 13.
I kind of like those, though.
But 13 was so bad.
It was alright.
Was it all right?
It was alright.
All right?
13-2 was pretty good.
Except for the story was an absolute mess.
Yeah, but they're a good villain.
I don't even remember who the villain is.
Caius Ballard.
Oh, yes, Caius.
Then Lightning Returns was alright.
That had a great combat system.
It did.
That's the only thing that improved in that series.
Yeah. I remember because I played through all of 13, and then you got up to these ridiculously strong giant turtle things which were so hard to kill.
Oh, when you got to Grand Pulse?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I actually stopped playing, is when I got to the open world part.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's just dumb. I lost all interest in that series.
Yeah, you played 13 too.
10-2.
13 too.
Oh yeah, I played 13 too. I mean, it died off. I was like, this is dumb. I'm done.
I wonder if they'll do a 15 too.
But I have 2 sealed copies of Lightning Returns.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know why you have 2 copies of the same game. Such an idiot!
I just don't know. Things happened. Money was spent. Decisions were made.
A moron was born.
Yeah, very much so.
Do you think we'll see a 15 too?
I hope not. I think they're going to milk this franchise or that series through.
I suppose they're doing all the DLC, aren't they?
Unless they use it to expand further past.
Or actually make the story make sense.
Oh, such a mess.
It was such a shame.
Yeah.
If they'd put that together a bit better, it would have been strong 10 out of 10, that game.
You think?
I enjoyed it a lot apart from that.
I did. I really enjoyed the open world exploration.
Just needed a bit more stuff, I think.
Just a tad more.
Just a smidge more, Jeeves. Add more stuff into Final Fantasy 15.
Quite.
It's me, Dead Jeeves. You rang, sir?
Pardon my bony fingers. They've partially decomposed.
Jeeves, tell Dead Jeeves to tell Deader Jeeves to tell Dead Jeeves.
To tell cremated Jeeves to stop bothering my allergies.
Yes. Shall we move on to our game of the week?
Got some Jeeves in my nose.
Shut up, Eric.
Arthur, stop using Jeeves as a cat box.
Oh, I hit my microphone. I do apologize.
Ooh, rookie mistake. Yes, let's move on. We are finishing, for the time being, our time with Alundra.
Alundra. Oh, as I like to call it nowadays, Alundstalker.
Landstalker.
This is basically Landstalker, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, 100% it's Landstalker. 100%.
But
not.
Even more annoying dungeons.
Oh my god. So, where we stopped last time was right around the coastal cave.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I'd really ever made it. I'd made it to... Well, no, I take that back. I'd made it to the reptile layer with Reptilicus Maximus.
Good name. I like that name.
It is. And for some reason or other, I'd always kind of tapered off and just stopped playing. And that's just short of halfway through the game. Mm-hmm. So everything we've played since then for me has been completely new. And unfortunately, it has changed my opinion on the game slightly.
Oh, shit. What has it changed to?
This game's annoying.
Ugh, tell me about it, right?
But I'm also going to follow that up with I still love this game because I think the shining aspects of this game outweigh the annoyingness of the dungeons.
I'm not in the loving camp. I want to play it. I still want to play it, but it drives me crazy camp. Like, so much.
How far did you make it before we?
I have made it to the Nerude's lair.
Okay, so we're pretty close. I made it through the following dream. There's a total of 22 dungeons in this game.
What?
And Nerude's lair is dungeon 16.
Lair.
And that's not including the optional dungeon of the Fire Manor, the Ice Manor, the Fairy Pond. Those are the only 3 dungeons. So yeah, technically 25. So I did those 3 optional dungeons.
I missed those.
You could have done the Fire Manor and the Ice Manor, and to be honest, they make the game a lot easier because you get the Fire Wand and the Ice Wand that kill enemies much faster. And they allow you to traverse some new routes throughout the game, like those big thorny bushes. You can burn them down.
I've seen them, yeah.
Yeah. But the Ice Wand that you get, you can do a charge attack, and it shoots out this iceberg that sits on the ground. And continually, it freezes an enemy, and then the iceberg sits there and causes continual damage.
Can you use it as a stepping stone as well?
I don't know. I never tried that.
Probably not, because that would override a lot of the puzzles, I imagine.
Yeah.
How on earth do you open up the fast travel gates?
Okay, so fast travel, that's the biggest annoyance with this game, is that there's no map to look at. So there's a lot of people in this game that you need to know where they are. You need to know where certain houses are, certain dungeons, where the sanctuary is. There's just things you need to know, and you have to commit them all to memory. However, when you're wandering around, you'll see these things that look like little stone arches. And those are fast travel gateways that you have to unlock later in the game. Let's see, it's after Magiskar. Which, let's talk about Magiskar for a minute.
Oh, is that how you say it? I was saying Magiska.
Oh. Maybe.
I think Magiska sounds more exotic.
No, Magiskar sounds like a...
You've got a magic scar.
Yeah, like a Harry Potter scar.
Yeah.
Apparently Magiskar is where everything is born.
I love this so
and
much.
Then where everything goes when it dies. So it's the whole from ashes to ashes, dust to dust, born from the salt of the earth and return to the salt of the earth. However, it's just north of town.
It's ridiculous. I sent Eric a message saying I just imagined like some Yorkshireman or something going, Magiska, aye lad, it's just up there past the shops.
Yeah, most religions have a concept of heaven and hell, and how you get there is how you live your life, and you know the drill. However, this place, you just walk to it. Like, you just go to heaven. You just walk there and take an afternoon visit. It wouldn't even need to be an afternoon visit. You just hop on up there, spend 5 minutes, and be home in time for tea 15 minutes from now. It's that close to town.
It's ridiculous. It's basically a cave.
Yeah, that anybody could walk into.
And apart from at the back, Alundra can bomb the cave and access more of heaven than anybody has ever seen before.
People there are quite thick.
Just makes no sense.
But Magiskar has... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is possibly one of the most annoying dungeons in the entire game.
It is, but the boss battle at the end is really cool.
Yeah, apart from when you die and you have to do it all again.
The corpse worm is awesome. I really enjoyed that boss.
Explain what the corpse worm is. The corpse worm.
The corpse worm is like... It's a giant armored centipede that has probably 7 or 8 body sections to it, that when you attack them, it disables the shield. Once you've disabled all of the shields, you can then attack the head. And the boss never directly attacks you. He kind of just bounces around in straight lines and will occasionally change direction, but it's always really easy to predict where he's going. But occasionally he'll fire off a fireball that bounces around and then disappears, or he'll curl himself up and swing his tail around. But the map is quite large and easy to avoid. He's such a different enemy from all of the other bosses in the game that it's not your simple just attack this guy as much as you can and hope you beat him before he kills you. There's just a little bit of strategy involved with it. I don't know why. It sat with me as a cool boss.
It was pretty cool, but I got really irritated because I died.
That is the one thing. The other thing about this game that drives me absolutely wild is that the dungeons are so long and there's maybe a save point in them.
Like near the start, which is practically impossible to go back to when you're further in.
Most of them put a save point pretty close to the end, but by the time you get to the save point, you're out of herbs, you don't have a strength tonic, you don't have a strength elixir, you don't have a magic elixir, and hopefully you have a wonder essence.
It's so hard.
So you typically have to
so
backtrack
much progress
out.
In this game.
Oh yeah, I just lost progress again last night because I was bouncing around and just ran into something, wasn't paying attention to my health, died, lost an hour of time.
Yeah,
and it was just out in the main world.
We mentioned this last time, like things could just kill you suddenly, and then that boss, the soul leech again in
yes,
Giles's nightmare, which is another dungeon. Basically, you revisit this boss called the Soul Leech, which was in Klein's Nightmare, I want to say, or something like that.
Yes.
And basically what it does is this sucks in, like, it sucks in either Alundra or the other character, and you get a warning at the start of the thing which says, his mind is too damaged. If he gets, like, hurt further, you will die as well. And they mean this literally, which I discovered much to my horror, because if the guy gets sucked in by the boss, you die instantly.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to stop it from happening.
So not only do you have to play offense against the boss, you have to play defense against the character to get in the way, because he'll throw out enemies, and then he'll open up his mouth and suck everything in, you and Klein or Giles included. You have to just stand between him and the sucking, meanwhile trying to throw a bomb on the ground.
Oh, yeah!
Meanwhile trying to throw a bomb on the ground to hit the boss before you get sucked in and die.
I actually used arrows.
Oh, arrows are the weakest weapon in the game.
I know, but I couldn't be bothered with dying again, and it was the easiest way to make sure that I didn't.
I would just, as soon as he wasn't inhaling, I would push Giles all the way to the end and then just throw a bunch of bombs down as soon as he threw the enemies out so that he'd suck all 3 bombs in.
Is that the same as Giles?
Yeah. But the thing that's super important is magic. Magic.
You said you had 2 bits of magic at this point, right?
I now have 3.
Where are you getting these from?
Just outside the sanctuary, you have to have the fire wand. You can burn down a piece of bush and bounce up to a new... So if you come out of the sanctuary and go right one screen, you'll see a treasure chest that you can't get to. Mm-hmm. Once you have the fire wand, you can burn that down and get another one. But that one you actually don't need the fire wand for. You just need the flail, break down a rock.
For God's sake.
It makes things so much easier because the earth scroll, you get an earth scroll, a fire scroll, a wind scroll, and a water scroll. And they cause different amounts of damage to different enemies. But the soul leech has like 180 HP, and one casting of the earth scroll will take off half his health.
Would it be pretty damn handy?
Yeah, so magic is huge in this game. Getting those magic gems or magic crystals.
But we said last time you can only use them like once or twice per dungeon, really.
Well, once you get 3, or every time you get another gem, you can cast it again. But if you make sure you go into every dungeon with a magic elixir, I now have 6 uses of magic. So any enemy is just dead. Any boss is just dead.
Oh, that's quite handy.
Yeah. But back to the fast travel. So after Magiskar, you can go back to the desert, and there is a room that you can now solve, and you get something called the sleuth key. And you go down. There's another room in the desert that you can open up and access with that key. A room that has a bunch of tiles on the floor, and you meet this god.
I found a locked room in the desert. Is that what you're on about?
Yeah. You need the key to open that door, and then you go in, and there's like 15 tiles on the ground in a diamond formation. And this boss says, or this god says, he needs you to replicate these 5 different symbols. So what he'll do is he'll light up the symbols on the ground, and it's almost like, it's not necessarily a game of memory, but it's a game of follow the leader, where the first 2 or 3 are really easy, so he'll light it up and show you, and then he'll light them up again, and you have to step on them immediately as they happen, and they get faster and faster and faster and faster. So if you don't have it memorized to know where the next light is going to show up, you're going to miss it, and then you have to start over on it. But as soon as you beat that, fast travel activates. So there's now a central hub that when you go to any of these arches, they now have the ability to walk through them. And once you walk through them, it activates that as a fast travel hub. And it takes you to the central world where you can save and then jump into other gates and move about the world.
That would be quite useful.
I've only found about 3 or 4.
I've seen a few of them about.
It's really dumb because
have to look into that.
It would make way more sense to make that available right away at the beginning, because there are fast travel gates in areas of the game that I'm never going to go back to.
I think you're meant to go back to places, though, because you can find gilded Vulcans and life vessels and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's also a sword in this game called the Legendary Sword that's put there. It's put there to make the game easier for people who suck.
I haven't got it yet.
There's a statue of a king just east or west of town where when you go and talk to him, he says, "Yes, you're worthy to have my sword," or "No, I don't think you're worthy because you're too skilled with a sword." So basically, if you haven't died a ton, he says you don't need my sword. And it makes the game
times do you have to die?
super. So there's really no consensus over that. Everything that I've read said 16, but people have also said, I just killed myself 16 times and couldn't get it. And other people say 25, and I thought for sure I've died at least 16 times.
I would have thought I would have, so.
I just don't know. I didn't get it. But I did end up getting a really cool sword from one of the optional dungeons, the Fairy Pond. I got something called the Fiend Blade, and it does significant more damage. Most of the early level enemies, it just kills them in one hit.
What is the point of the Power Glove?
You can pick up rocks, like big rocks.
I've not found a rock yet to pick up.
You'll see boulders that have inscriptions on them that you can pick up. It's so dumb that you can equip it because you don't need it equipped to pick those up.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That's stupid. Because there is like passive effect items in this, like the swimming boots.
So I got something called the Aqua Cape. No idea what it does.
Like the sand cape.
Yeah, no idea what it does. Put it on, go in the water, doesn't do anything.
You know, if you go in the menu and you leave it hovering over an item for a while, it scrolls to a new screen where it tells you what it does, right?
I did not. You just let it sit there?
Yeah.
How long?
Like 2 seconds.
Huh.
Like, I'm just putting part knowledge about this game to you because you didn't know about the sword attack last week.
I didn't.
Have you been using it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just didn't know there was a charge attack.
I wanted to talk to you about my biggest gripe with this game at this point is not that the puzzles are like they're designed well. It's just the way it's implemented. Like, if you fail at doing something incredibly intricate, you then have to leave the room and come back in and start it all over again. It's
like the room with the spinning chain balls that you have to destroy the chain or destroy their base to send them flying in a certain direction.
but that was nothing compared to it was either at Magiska or later on, where you have to pick up torches and throw them at like different things in the room. And there was one where there was a spike pit, and you had to jump on specific platforms while avoiding drips from the ceiling, which would put out your torches. And then if you fell off the thing, because you had to do 4 of these things, and if you fell off, your torch would extinguish. If you got hit by the water, your torch would extinguish. If you missed the other torches that you were throwing the torches at, your torch would extinguish, and you would have to leave the room and come back in and do it all again. I did 3 of them multiple times, and then failed on the 4th. Yeah. And oh my god, it was driving me crazy. I was getting so irate with it. I nearly quit there. I'm not going to lie. It was doing my head in.
My main gripe about it is that they put too much into it. The dungeons are too long. They find a puzzle mechanism. You know, in Zelda, they'll, like, for comparison, here's a dungeon, here's a cool puzzle mechanism. Do it once, maybe twice. Great, that was awesome. Alundra, they'll do it like 15 times.
Yep.
The dungeons are just too long.
They are. You start
to get bored with it. Like, I've done this before. I've done this multiple times before. They just seem to drag on for no reason at all. It's like, oh, we're just going to pad this out. Which is a shame, because the story in this game is fantastic.
I think it's definitely the strongest point. It's incredibly dark.
It is. And
quite mature for what the game is.
After Nairood's Lair, even after just Magiskar really cracks open and you start to see the evil that's taking over this town, but after Nairood's Lair, you start to discover that it's the people that are the root of the evil. And it's the people that are causing what's happening, not the gods.
Really?
Yeah, it's really dark. And just more important people start dying, and it just takes a really shitty turn. So if there's any reason to continue playing this, it's definitely for the story. I mean, there's a huge event that comes up immediately after Nairood's Lair that it's pretty impactful.
Oh, I don't know if I want you to tell me, because I might play it now.
I think you need to. I think you have to just keep playing it. Maybe something you just continually chug through. Yeah. It is kind of a slog. I won't sugarcoat it, and I think maybe that's why I used to quit playing this back in the days. This just it's a slog. You know?
I think it's at times it's quite impossible to progress without a guide. I've been stumped multiple times. Just
some of the puzzles are a little too hard.
Like, there was one room where you had to throw some barrels up on a ledge and then go up a ladder and drop down onto the ledge and throw the barrels up to the higher ledge, and I just couldn't figure it out. And
the Ice Manor, I absolutely had to use a guide for, because it's super short. It's only 2 rooms, 2 puzzles. You'd figure, great, 5 minutes. Spent an hour in there.
Wow.
Because you have to slide these pillars around to create a walkable
that
bridge.
Puzzle.
Well, this one's even worse, because...
No, but in general in games, I hate sliding ice puzzles.
Yeah, because you have to get them to line up, but this one is so intricate that you have to slide things into other things and then move those and then move something else, slide it back to where it was. It's just this huge... You ever play that game Traffic Jam?
No.
Where you have to move the cars in certain orders to get one car out. It's just a game of that is all it is, and it's just really annoying.
It is annoying. And then if you do it wrong, you have to start all over again, right?
Correct. I just flat out used a guide for it.
I had to do that in one of the nightmares where you had to do it with the ice blocks. Because it was just so frustrating.
There's a dream... go ahead.
I just think the puzzles are the weakest part of this game, because they're just... I feel like half the time you haven't done anything wrong. It's just kind of a limitation of the game where you kind of fall off something because you haven't jumped at specifically the right edge or something like that, and it's just...
It carried over that poor aspect of Landstalker for sure.
Yeah, it just buggers up everything you've done, basically. And then you have to backtrack and go out of the room and come back in and do everything you've already done, and then you might screw up again at the end. It just drives me crazy.
There's a dream later on where you actually start collaborating with Mia and doing puzzles together.
Oh, no.
So, no, it's actually really cool. It works. But
that's all right then, I guess.
Yeah. You're close to the end, to be honest. You know, if you've done... You just got through Magiskar? Or have you done the Sanctuary and Mia's Dream?
I've done Sanctuary and Mia's Dream. I'm actually outside Narud's lair trying to figure out how to get in.
Oh, that's where you are. Okay. That sucked because you have to destroy those 3 heads. You know, there's three.
I can't figure out how to get to the third one.
The third one, so you've gotten the one right at the base of the feet, and then the other one in the northeast corner.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, you have to go back up Torla Mountain.
I can't even remember where that is.
So it's like you're going to Magiskar. You just keep going up the mountain and then go to the right. This took me forever to find. You'll come to a giant open area with a wooden bridge and then another wooden bridge that's been collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
So you go under that collapsed bridge, climb up to the left side of it, jump across, and then go north. And there's a hidden path through the woods on the right that you just can't see. I had to use a guide to find that one, too.
Oh, God. And
once you open it... Nyrud's lair is long.
Yeah, I heard that's a bad dungeon.
It's really long. It's probably 2 hours.
Ugh. This is the thing, because we've always said we don't have as much time as we used to for games, and with save points so few and far between, like, I have to plan in advance when I want to play this game, you know?
Yeah. And this would be a great game to play through on an emulator with save states.
Absolutely gutted that I didn't play this on an emulator.
Yeah, and...
Specifically for that reason, and also because they would be so useful for the stupid puzzles where you can fail through no fault of your own. And
yep. It'll be an accomplishment to finish it without that. Like, imagine being able to say, I beat Landstalker without save states.
I'm 100% convinced that is impossible.
I don't think it's possible either. Because
particularly the last dungeon, it was rock hard.
Can you even save in that game? Like, turn it off and come back to it? Or is it just...
Yeah, I think you can.
I thought you just had X amount of lives, and if you lost all your lives, game over. I don't recall. I just straight up use save states.
I know, because it's an RPG. It's quite long. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's true. It is. It is unfortunate. It is kind of held back by its predecessor because they tried to keep it in the same vein. I would have been happy had they cut out half the dungeons.
Mm-hmm. If it was less frustrating, I wouldn't have an issue with that. But it's a limitation of the game itself and the things they try to do, and they try to do too much. And I'm not saying it's a terrible game. Like, I would probably quite like to go and finish it, but at the same time, I have this love-hate relationship with it, and it's just something...
I do too. It is, every time I turn it on, it's just... I really enjoy it. I love the world. I love the story. The characters in it are great. The music's phenomenal. I enjoy the combat. But it's really held back by what ties all that together, and that's the dungeons.
Yeah.
They're cool, but...
There's some neat ideas in there, but you will get incredibly annoyed jumping through different shit all the time.
Yeah. There's the fairy pond, the optional dungeon, which I don't know how the hell you'd ever find this. You have to go west of town, stand on a bridge, jump into the water, and then find a whirlpool. Go into that whirlpool. It'll transport you to a different pond with a larger whirlpool, and then you go in that, and it drops you down into a dungeon.
Yes. I feel like I haven't explored much. I think that's something I need to do, because I think I've missed a lot of
You really need to do the fire manor and the ice manor.
Yeah.
Just do them with a guide. They're really quick. And get those 2 items, because that opens up the rest of the world for you. To be able to burn down those bushes.
The guides aren't the best for this, though, again.
No, they're not.
We
and
need
the strategy guide is even
man.
worse. Yeah. I don't have time for that.
There's a website called Strategy Wiki, which has a decent guide, but it's only half complete.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
I was like, where's the rest of it? Because they have pretty pictures, which is useful.
Unlike the official strategy guide.
Which is just a wall of text.
Yeah, it's just garbage.
You should post some pictures on a Facebook community of that.
Yeah,
so people can see how terrible it is.
I'm definitely going to finish this. It's just... there's no way. There was no way we were going to finish this for 2 shows.
No, it's too long. And you can't... Like, with life happening, you can't plan in advance when you want to play this.
And I had to play it on my Vita simply because, we were gone for Easter. I could play it in the car. I could play it somewhere else. I couldn't bring my computer with to play it, so I was kind of...
PS3 is in the living room, and I would play it mainly when Crystal went to bed, but that only leaves me a limited amount of time, and I couldn't be bothered moving it between the rooms every time I wanted to go on it.
That's why you need to get a Vita.
I know. I nearly bought one once, but I didn't.
Because the guy took too long in the back?
Correct. It's literally about 15 minutes. I was like, what is he doing?
Probably trying to just get you to leave because he didn't actually have a Vita.
Possibly.
Did you... I'm assuming no, but there's a casino in this game, much like the brothel from Landstalker.
Yeah. I know. That's what the Gilded Vulcans are for, right?
No, they're not. Hmm? There's a shop that if you give him all of the Gilded Falcons, you get a special weapon.
Is that all they're for?
Oh yeah, it's the best weapon in the game.
But some of them are missable.
Oh yeah, and you can't go back. Like the one in the hut that gets crushed by the boulder. If you don't grab it before it gets crushed, it's gone, and you have no shot at it.
Wow.
But no, there's a casino. There's a bar south of town that you can't get into because you're a kid. But if you break into somebody's house, jump through their chimney, and open a treasure chest down there, you can get something called the secret pass. And you go to the casino, or you go to the bar, and they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't see your pass. And they let you down into the basement where there are a few different games that you can play.
Oh, yeah.
There are... I don't remember all of them. One of them is roulette, which is just... it's the worst, because you can get a Gilded Falcon from it. But you have 3 colors to pick from. Red, green, or blue. And then you stand on that switch, and then the roulette table starts going. And if it lands on that color, great. You have to correctly guess like 5 times in a row, and then you'll get the Gilded Falcon. But more often than not, it lands on black, which isn't even a color you can choose. So everything that I've read about this, people are like, it's the most frustrating thing in the game is the roulette. There's another one where the slimes, where you go in and you have to use your bow and arrow to shoot slimes and get points.
Right.
But you have to do like 6 rounds of it. And by the very last round, you have to get 30 hits. And I'd never gotten more than 31. But the 6th round, they're coming by really quick. And then they start throwing rocks in the way. So then you have to be moving back and forth. And then they start adding a second tier to it. So you have to be jumping and shooting your arrows at the same time. Ugh. It's really difficult.
And what is the third one?
I don't remember. I think one of them is using your sword attacking slimes. They just pop up in a random manner, and you just have to hit them once.
I like them slimes.
Yeah. So it's just, there's some extra stuff to it.
It's nice that they've got that optional kind of exploration aspect to it, I guess.
How much time have you put in so far when you save? What's your time at?
I can't remember.
I think I just crested 20 hours.
Mine's about 15.
That's about right. Nairu's Lair will take you a good 2-3 hours.
Mm.
But after that...
but overall, very mixed feelings about this one.
It is. I went into it, this being one of my favorite games. It really hasn't held up well, and maybe I was looking back at it with a little bit too much nostalgia. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's really a good game. It just has a lot of shortcomings.
Yeah, don't let us put you off. Give it a try.
Give it the old college try.
Yes. Moving on a little bit, I wanted to talk to you a bit about ukulele.
Yes, please do. I can't find it anywhere.
Really? I'm having
I have
the same
yet
problem
to
with
see it in the
Persona
store.
5.
Yeah. I see Persona 5 everywhere. Haven't seen a single copy of ukulele.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's so irritating. We should just buy it for each other and send them over.
It'd probably be cheaper.
Not if you buy it over here.
Is it worth it? Did it live up to everything that you thought it would?
I have actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It is basically like playing Banjo 3. Which, honestly, it's basically identical in every way, but newer, shinier, and the characters, it's still quite funny. It's got that rare kind of humour to it, you know, because it's them guys who worked on it back in the day. And, I mean, some of it hasn't aged brilliantly, some of the puzzles and stuff like that, but there's a lot of variety in there. And
Okay.
I like the new moves you get. I like a lot of the puzzles. I like the fact that you can expand the worlds and then it opens up new areas. I think that's really cool. And it's just a fun game from a genre that's been forgotten. And overall, I've put in quite a bit of time into it now, and I'm actually really enjoying it.
Huh.
I mean, I can't see where people are coming from with the camera, to be quite honest. I have no problems whatsoever with the camera. I don't know what people are doing with it.
So is it still the same type of game as Banjo-Kazooie, where there's a hub world and then you have different worlds that you jump into?
Yeah, they have some thing called grand tomes, which are basically like big books, which are there, and then you can activate them using the pages that you've collected, which are basically jiggies from Banjo-Kazooie, and then you can jump in, and then if you come out of it again, you can stand on the same pedestal where you did it, and if you trade in more pages, it expands the grand tome, making the levels bigger with more challenges and more things to do.
So does it behoove you to just rush through the early levels because you know you're going to have to come back later to get more pages with a different skill?
That's what I've done. I've basically got the bare minimum of pages to progress, unlocked all the moves, and then started doing the 100% collectible playthrough kind of thing, you know?
Because that was always really frustrating about Banjo-Kazooie, was you'd spend all this time in this world searching for everything just to find out, oh, I can't get it, and I have to come back.
Yeah, but it gives you reason to go back at the same time. I mean, honestly, I think you would quite like it. I mean, you like Banjo, so it's just the same, really.
Interesting. And it's only $40.
The only thing I don't like is they have like a quiz section like they have at the end of Banjo-Kazooie, but it pops up a bit too often. And it's not that fun.
No.
The level design's pretty good, like really big interconnected levels with loads of different things to find and secrets and all that stuff.
Maybe on a sale I'll pick it up.
Yeah, it was cheap. It was only £27 over here, so I was like, you know what, I'll bite.
We're just like we were talking about before. It's just there's too much coming up right now. And with what you have proposed for an upcoming series of shows, I think we're going to be tied down pretty heavily.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
That was another segue.
It was. It slipped through. No!
Did it?
Yours, victory is yours.
I think that's the first one you've let slip.
I think it is. I'm disappointed in myself.
Looking forward, next show we're going to have our friend Mike Tyson on to talk about Earthworm Jim 1 and 2.
Not the boxer, by the way.
How do you know?
It could be.
Maybe he's our fan.
Let's give up a boxing career to live in England.
And play video games.
Yeah.
But after that, Dan, I'll let you tell everybody what you have proposed.
Brace yourself, everyone.
Get ready for a ghost attack!
We're starting our playthrough Final Fantasy VII.
Ugh.
I've been waiting for this. It's the only reason I came on the show.
I mean, we did a playthrough of 8, so I feel like it's time.
It's been long enough. I need to play it again.
How are we going to handle this? Is this just going to be what we're going to do for 4 straight shows, or are we going to do this as like a special where we record them when we can?
I think we'll do it for the main show and then see how we get on, and maybe branch off into something else occasionally in case. Maybe we'll do disc 1 and then do something else and then go on to disc 2.
Yeah, record the show when we're ready, because there's no way we're going to be able to get through this in what amounts to 2 months.
I mean, I probably get addicted to the snowboarding minigame for about 3 hours, so...
I mean, let's face it, just getting out of Midgar takes 7 hours.
I know.
It's crazy. But, again, playthrough on the Vita.
I wish I had it for that.
It's great. It's just super good, because then I can play it in the car, play it downstairs on the couch when we're watching a movie.
I shall play it on the PS3 using my original copy.
I would, but that ties me down too much.
God damn it. So yeah,
good.
Coming up, Earthworm Jim, and then Final Fantasy VII, baby.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. It's been a while since I last played it, and with the remake allegedly coming out, it's a good time.
They're going to announce the remake just as we finish. Be like, oh, by the way, it'll be out next week.
I'll be like, oh, for God's sake.
Shit.
It'll be different enough.
Yeah. Another bit of business to take care of. We have made a loose decision on our Patreon and what we're going to do.
Very loose.
Very loose. We're going to update all of the awards or rewards. We just have too many. And I know we've been a little thin on our giveaways, which we need to start cranking up on those again. But the main draw is our factory sealed unwrapped, which is, if you don't know, a completely unedited version of the show, including the however many minutes leading up to when we actually start recording the show. So all of the banter and ridiculous conversation that we have prior to putting it in D and popping the clutch is on there. Typically that was reserved for people that donated $10 or more. I think we're just going to make it for if you donate anything, you have access to it. Including
buttons and bits of cheese.
No, because we can't pay the hosting bill with buttons and cheese.
Are you sure?
I guess I didn't read the fine print, but maybe.
So let's try.
So there are, by doing that, it'll unlock all of the previous Factory Sealed Unwraps, which are just available on Patreon. You can download them yourself. You know, it's not like there's an RSS feed or anything. But we started that on, like, episode 84. So there's a lot of Factory Sealed Unwrapped.
Yeah, wow.
And they're all on there.
But of course, thank you to everybody who continues to donate, because
oh yeah,
we do put it back into the show, and we use it for our hosting and things like that. And it really, you got the guys, we do this for you, so please help us.
We need dollars.
We need to eat, you know.
And even if nobody donated, we'd still do it. It just helps alleviate some of the burden. Oh wait, we started this back on episode. I'm just digging through when this started. Episode 77 is when we started Factory Sealed Unwrapped. So
we will do a giveaway. Maybe we can find something Final Fantasy VII to give away.
Dan,
you died.
You died.
I didn't.
Oh, maybe we can do something. What?
Final Fantasy VII.
We could probably give away a copy of Final Fantasy VII. They're not that expensive anymore.
Or some kind of cool memorabilia.
Like a Tifa pillow.
This week's winner is Dan Curtis. Hooray!
Rigged!
A worthy winner, I think we would all agree.
Yeah, you can get a copy of this on eBay for $25
Cool.
ish.
We'll see what we can do, my peoples.
Yes. Yes, quite. So that is what's coming up in the future. We don't have any emails, so you guys need to fix that.
What's going on, my people?
We need emails.
We used to get so many.
We did.
Does nobody like us?
Well, a lot of people post their questions on our Facebook page, and we just kind of chat about it there. If you want to find us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Factory Sealed Podcast.
That's the one.
That is the one.
That's where all the stuff goes down. You should join it.
Perhaps even the two. There's a game. Okay, so one other thing. There's a game that Andrew Thorson was talking about called Wonder Boy. Did you ever play that?
No, but it looks pretty good.
It looks fantastic because you can play it in the original 8-bit or in the new painted over version.
It looks like a cartoon.
Yeah, it looks really good. So I was looking at picking that up as well.
I might too at some point.
But next on my docket, occasionally, slowly, is I Am Satsuna.
I am Satsuma.
Yes. I can confirm that cartridge does not taste nearly as bad as Breath of the Wild.
I wonder why.
So maybe they're not as concerned about Japanese children eating the cartridges.
Probably.
Because that's the first thing I did when I opened it was I licked the cartridge. For science, obviously.
Cosmoron.
Well, I mean, partially.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, Dan, any final thoughts?
You're still an idiot?
It's a fair point.
But other than that, not a sausage.
Not a sausage. All right. Well, with that, then, we're going to wrap it up. We will see you back here in 2 weeks with Mike Tyson and some Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. Maybe in the in-between, an episode of Gosh Darn Video Game Podcast.
Yeah, we need to do one.
We do. But we never adhered to any sort of strict schedule with that. So those come when they come.
They do.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, that will wrap it up for this week.
Bah!
I've been Eric Peterson.
You ain't been Daniel Curtis.
You fucking muppet.